And now the Hansons and Hiatus podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It's another episode of Hansons on Hiatus, episode 53. I am your host, Nate, and this is my wife, Alexis.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And don't forget to support the podcast, buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy us some virtual beers. And we wanted to thank Brian for buying us 2 virtual beers for our 1-year anniversary of the podcast last episode. So thank you, Brian. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian.
And Kim bought us 5 beers for the 1-year anniversary and for your birthday because she missed it. So thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you so much, Kim. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kim and Brian.
Yes, definitely. Well, and also don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, Google Podcasts, all the casts. And actually, Brian, who sent us the 2 beers for our anniversary, he was telling me, our podcast anniversary, but he was telling me this story about, he heard about you forgetting your underwear. And I know we talked about my dad forgetting our underwear.
You heard that, huh?
Yeah. But he was telling me a story that he was in Mexico staying at an all-inclusive and he forgot his underwear. But they were on a resort, so there's like nowhere to go, like probably one of those resorts up in the jungle where there's, you're kind of
secluded. There's not like a Walmart or something you can go to. Oh my gosh, I never thought of that.
Yeah, so he was telling me a story. He's like, I couldn't buy underwear. So he's like, I had 1 pair of underwear for the whole trip and he just had to wash it out in the sink or in the shower or whatever. So
funky.
So it could be worse. And if you are watching the video, I'm sure you've noticed that we have a little doggy on Alexis's lap.
We got a special guest.
Yeah. This is Bolly, and it's my buddy Tom and Cindy's dog here in Tulum. And I don't know if it sounds a little bit different. We are at their house in Tulum. They went to Colombia for Tom's birthday. And I think we were in Tulum last year at the exact same time, watching their other dog, Sky, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Sky.
During his birthday as well. So we're back. We're here. We're doing some Tulum shit, and we're puppy watching. So going from watching, I don't know how old Sky was. Was she 15 or 16?
She was about Tiger's age. Like, yeah, she was a little bit older than him. 15, 16.
Yeah, so going from watching that speed of dog, also with Tiger, at 14, to watching a 10-month-old puppy.
Yes.
A little bit different.
A little bit different.
Yeah, but
Very
you could
different.
probably see her. She's so cute. Let me turn the camera down a little bit. Ah, there you go. Yeah, she's so cute. But a lot of energy.
Lots of energy. Lots of walks. Lots of watching out for things. Like even when she jumps off the couch, we're like, I forgot.
But between watching an older dog and a younger dog, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Just don't die on my watch.
Yes. Keep them alive, keep them happy, keep them fed.
Yeah. Because like older dogs, you're just afraid some medical emergency could happen. And younger dogs, you're like, please don't eat something that you're not supposed to.
Yes, of course.
Yes. Shoot. So, yeah, like I said, we are here in Tulum. So we've been, actually, soon as we got here and Tom and Cindy were still here, they didn't leave till the following day. Mm-hmm. And they, I don't know if they were packing or something. They were in the other room and we're watching Bolly and all of a sudden she starts choking on something. And we're like, oh my God, we've been here for 5 minutes. They're still home and she's choking on something.
5 minutes and I'm already digging things out of her mouth like, Tom, help, please. Yeah. He's like, oh my God.
But they had just got a new toy and it was one that I guess wasn't strong enough for a puppy. So she started tearing it apart and she just got like a little piece of string caught in her throat or something.
Exactly.
So like, oh great, this is how this week's going to go.
I think it freaked her out too. She was like, I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, but she ended up being fine.
Yes.
Oh, shoot. So, we've only been in Tulum for a couple days, so we don't have like a ton of great stories yet. I'm sure we'll have some more next week.
We will.
But this is, it's not even so much a story. It's more of a little life hack. You can do this in the United States as well.
Yeah.
Because we used to go to the salad bar at Publix in Georgia.
Yes.
Loved it because you just build your own salad, and they also had the hot bar, and I'd sneak maybe an egg roll in there.
I know. I'd always be so happy when you'd bring salads home, and there'd be like one little carb accent in the salad, like an egg roll or something.
Yeah. So make sure she's not biting those cables.
Yes, she's not.
All right, please.
She's eating my toe.
Yeah, and also, like I said, since we are here in their house in Tulum, they're in like kind of the locals neighborhood, so there's a lot of barking dogs, a lot of birds, a lot of cars going by. So if you hear anything in the background, apologies.
Yes,
nothing we could do.
Might sound a little different this time. That's okay though.
Yeah, but anyway, so salad bar that we go to in Publix, they have one at our grocery store here also. So every now and then we go and do a little salad bar, get some chicken, some peppers, some mushrooms, potato, like a little bit of everything on there. But we also there's not a lot of soup like we like chicken noodle soup or whatever. There's like one or two places that I think we normally would get soup at. Mm-hmm. So we started finding this mix at the grocery store, and it's just like, it's maybe 25 cents or 50 cents, and it's just like a mixy packet. It has the seasoning in there and then some noodles, like just those, what are those cup of soup noodles that you used to get?
Yeah, I love this soup. It comes in a box, they're in packets, I don't know, but they're just little plain straight noodles.
Yeah, it's a little short one.
Just little, we probably ate it as kids, like the ABC noodles, or I don't know. My mom always made it when we were sick, the Lipton soup.
Right, yeah. So then I started jazzing it up a little bit, and I'd like get a rotisserie chicken, cut it up, put it in there, we get some vegetables and everything. But then I had this idea, and it's a great life hack if anybody needs to use it. All the good soup ingredients are at the salad bar. Yep. So I just go up there and get a little bowl, and I don't put any lettuce in it. Throw some chicken in there, some green and red peppers, some cucumbers, some tomatoes, like cherry tomatoes or whatever. Corn, mushrooms, all that stuff, little pieces of potato. So go to the salad bar, just fill it up a little bit, use that for soup ingredients so you don't have to buy everything individually.
Exactly. Because if we bought all those things, they would just go bad before we actually got to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Or all of it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what else. Oh, this morning, you were yelling from the other room that somebody was knocking at the door. What was going on there?
I thought, Tom's gone, our buddy's gone, and this neighborhood is very lively. I thought he forgot, someone's delivering something or taking care of their plants or whatever. I just see this little lady out there, a little Mexican lady with this big hat on going, "Buenos dias, buenos dias." And I'm like, oh, is she supposed to come in here? Like into our gate, you could see her. And I'm just like, I don't know. So I messaged Tom like, hey, I don't know if this lady needs something. No. Guess who they were?
The water delivery?
No. That would make sense. Yeah. I wish it was.
The Schwan Man?
No. They were Mexican Jehovah's Witnesses.
What? Yes. Oh my God. Were they... You said Mexican Jehovah's Witnesses. Were they Mexican or were they Jehovah's Witnesses in Mexico?
They were 100% Mexican, and they were dressed much better than our Jehovah's Witnesses. They had, they were dressed nice, like they were going to church, but it wasn't the normal like black pants, white button-up shirt. They had the guys had colorful button-up shirts on and nice slacks, and then the women were wearing like dresses you would wear to church with their big sun hats to protect them from the sun. They all looked lovely, but I suspected they were Jehovah's Witnesses, but I wasn't sure if that was a thing here, only because the men had those, those big like side bags that the guys carry, like side satchel or man purse, whatever it is. They had those. I was like, looks like our Jehovah's Witnesses. And he said that's who it was.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I've actually seen them here one time, but they're pretty sure they were white people. Oh. Like, so they probably sent them down here on like a mission to... go around and spread the word of whatever the fuck. But I always thought I would see them I remember seeing them in Florida, and I always thought they were kids that worked at Publix. Oh. Because they were wearing like the white shirt and the black slacks. And then I think at Publix at the time you had to have like a black tie or a green tie or whatever it was. But yeah, they always looked the same. But I saw them down here. So I'm like, can you imagine them sending you as like a teenager or early 20s to go spread the word of the Lord to a country where you don't speak the language? Like that would be hard, I would think. I
would hope they would teach them a little bit of Spanish, but then I'm afraid to knock on the door at home. I'm going to go to a different country and knock on someone's door. Like, no way.
Yeah, no, not happening. So you saw the Jehovah's Witnesses. That's pretty much the craziest thing we've seen so far. We've just been, going to the beach and stuff and getting some work done because my parents are still in town in Playa del Carmen, and they are actually coming down here this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're coming down for the weekend.
Yeah, because they haven't been to Tulum since like the 80s or something like that, so they want to check it out. And I want to tell them like this is not your style. I know they want to see the difference, but Tulum is probably a way different place than 30 years ago.
It's not their speed. Maybe the area we're in is not their speed, not their style. If they were at like the mom and dad resorts, sure. Like enjoy that up. But just like the regular, like the Puebla and the regular beach and everything, it's kind of hard to get around. It's a lot. It's like more of a, I don't want to say aggressive town, but it's just like very busy.
Yeah, it's busy, and it's, it's Playa del Carmen 20 years ago still.
Yeah.
It's very
not easy.
I don't know what the word. I'm trying to think of the word. I want to say like rustic, but that's not the word. It's
rough.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, it
rough.
is rough. Yeah, it's not manic. I mean, not that Playa is super manicured, but
Yeah, but the roads are nice. Like here, I think the biggest thing is the roads. A lot of they are building new roads and paving them, but some of the older road, like the main beach road, is just very hard to drive down, hard to scoot down.
And that's what I'm afraid of. I'm worried about my dad coming down and getting hit by a fucking motorcycle again, because he likes to walk in the street, and the streets are crazy.
The streets are crazy here. You really have to be vigilant, driving and walking.
Yeah. Well, and I also am worried about him. He might blow a gasket, because we were walking down the beach yesterday, and there was quite a few ladies with their tatas out.
Oh, we did see that.
And they were not grandmas. Like, they were good-looking women.
Yes. I love how you say, like, nothing's going on here. We've seen boobs. We've seen Jehovah's Witnesses. We're seeing all sorts of stuff.
Well, there's a beach that used to be a nude beach in Playa del Carmen, and now it's moved up the beach a little ways more, and it's not an official one. It's just kind of where, like, the French people go to, like, go topless or whatever. But he's been talking about this for like fucking 3 years, I feel like. And so if he comes here and he sees some boobs, he might, his mind might explode.
I say we don't mention anything, take him to the beach and just see what happens.
Yeah, true. Well, and what else did we see on the beach? There's this place, actually Lindsay Marie from Rock. She's one of our good friends, and her husband Patrick and everything. She always talks about this a gym here called the Tulum Jungle Gym,
which is a great name.
Oh, totally. And if you follow them on Instagram, everything is like made out of like bamboo and wood, and there's these big logs that have handles on them you have to lift, and then there's these things where the pulleys are made out of there's these rope and wicker baskets, and somebody sits in it, and you have to like do like different exercises and lift the person's weight. Everything is kind of like jungly themed, but the people that go there are like either meathead like bodybuilders or like gorgeous like fitness model women.
I'm
like
sure.
there ain't some dude there's not a dude like me just trying not to die early. Like they're very good looking people. So we sent a picture of us outside to Patrick and Lindsay, and he was like, thongs or it didn't happen. I was like, I'm not paying money to go in there and be embarrassed.
No, we didn't go in. We weren't working out. We were drinking.
Yeah. Touche.
But that's cool. I like how everything's like very eco-friendly there, and different spin on it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and then what else? The time change.
Yes.
We sprung forward, I guess. Spring forward.
Fall back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy spring.
Yeah. So everybody went forward, and as we don't change, so we stay the same. But there was something that I didn't realize that happened to me when it was changing. So I can't remember if I was up late or if I woke up early in the morning, like 2:30 a.m. our time. And since we don't change, so like this last 6 months we've been on Eastern time zone, and then when y'all switch forward, then now we're aligned with Central time zone. So for the last 6 months we've been Eastern and an hour ahead of Central, obviously. So about 2:30, I woke up and I was like, oh yeah, it is daylight saving time or whatever. So I look and see what time it is in Iowa, and it's 1:30. Oh. And then I look and see what time it is in Georgia, and it's 3:30. Oh. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I never really thought about it, but when for some reason we always do it at 2 a.m. It's like when the bars close. I swear they made it around the bar. It's not midnight. You don't spring forward at midnight. You spring forward at 2 a.m. So then it becomes 3 a.m. Well, since I didn't realize this, but between 2 and 3 a.m., we're not aligned with any time zone.
Oh, we're just floating around.
Yeah, because, as soon as 2 a.m. hits, it becomes 3 a.m. Eastern. So it's still 2 a.m. for us. But then it's still 1 a.m. in Central time zone, because they haven't got it. When it's 1 a.m., they still have an hour to get to the 2 a.m. where it will spring forward for another hour. Right. So for an hour, we're just like in this fucking mystery land of nothing.
We don't know what time it is. No.
Yeah, so never really thought about that. But yeah, for an hour, we're not on Eastern or Central time zone. We're just in our own little zone for some reason.
That's crazy. That's really the whole time zone thing needs to just go, but it's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. People complain about this or that and saying, oh, you're not getting an extra hour or whatever. I don't know. I kind of like it. Kind of like mixes stuff up a little bit.
Yeah.
and I don't remember which one is which, but I remember going to wrestling practice and it being like dark out because the time of day it was at that season, and then when it would change, then it would be like a little bit lighter. So I liked it in that regard. Or
you
whatever.
like more sunlight at the end of the day or earlier in the day?
I don't know. I can't think of how all these things work forward and back and all this, whatever. But
everyone,
it's not that big a deal to me. It's an hour. Like if you can't wake up an hour earlier or an hour later, then you got bigger problems in your life.
I think people bitch about it more when it's at the end of the day. So like when you get to work at 9 a.m. it's dark, and then when you leave work at 5 p.m. it's dark. I always remember leaving the office and you just see the sun go down. You're like, great, I didn't even get a little bit of sun today while you're in the office or whatever.
Well, I just like the one where I can't remember which is which, but like where it feels like you're sleeping later. So like if you're supposed to be at work at 8 a.m., you're technically at work in your internal clock at 9 a.m. So it's like you got kind of an extra hour in your internal clock, in your body clock.
I think that might be now because like summer, it's like longer days and summer's coming. I don't know. I don't know. I'm only 40. I still don't know.
Yep. So, and then also coming up, was it Sunday is St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
So
we love St. Patrick's
they still
Day.
kind of do stuff here. It's weird that, it's, technically a Irish holiday, or it's at least Irish themed.
Yeah.
But they do it here too. And it might just be in our area because it's a touristy area, but I don't know. We don't really have many plans. Even my beer chug today, like I was having a hard time finding a fucking Irish beer. So I just did a Mexican stout because I'd already done Guinness last year. Right. So I was like, I'll do a Guinness stout or a Mexican stout in honor of St. Patrick's Day.
I like it.
But I don't know. I haven't seen a ton of things going on. So we might just start our own bar crawl and just hit there's like 2 or 3 Irish bars, maybe 2.
I feel like that's what we ended up doing last year anyway. But I will say I am excited this year because we have more swag that we brought back. If that's St. Patrick's Day, like we brought our hats and our little suspenders and things and glasses and whatever. So we're prepared this year.
Yes.
Whatever we're doing, we're ready.
Yeah, we went through our pub crawl tote bag or tote container thing when we were back last summer, and so we got some stuff. Brought it down. So it should be nice. Yeah. What else? I guess a couple other things. Oh, these are just a couple things that we were talking about. Like I think some of it was when I was gone and or right before I left for Las Vegas, and my dad goes, he said, yeah, so I was walking down Fifth Avenue and I see these little Mexican kids and they're eating dick-shaped popsicles. What's going on with that?
It was so funny when he said that, and I'm pretty sure he said dick like 20 times.
Yeah.
So I was like, please stop saying
that. But there is that one place called I Don't Give a Dick. I think we've talked about before, and it's obviously more aimed at like bachelorette parties and girl groups and stuff like that. But you can go in there and they have dick shaped waffles, and you can put different frostings on them. They dip them in, and you got to go. And they dip it in.
Noises. It's really awkward and
they put sprinkles on it. But they have vagina waffle pops too and stuff. But
they do. They have both.
Yeah, or on a stick. But now they have popsicles, like dick shaped popsicles. So maybe they're just really cheap, and so the little Mexican kids are like, "Hey, we can go get a cheap ass popsicle right here. Yeah. Looks like a dick, but that's okay."
I bet the moms went there and they're like, "Do you have anything for kids?" So like,
yeah,
this is all we got.
What was the story you were telling me about my dad?
I was gonna say, speaking of your dad, maybe we should just change the podcast to like Life with Mark in Mexico. You were gone, and we a couple of days we were just sitting on the patio, and he comes back from his long walks. He chills out, and we were sitting out there having a beer, just talking about Mexico. Hello, and just it was like the perfect time. It was the end of the day, so the sun's going down, and we're just watching our street where all the things happen. And he just like within 20 minutes, so many things happened. It was like first a small person went riding by on their bicycle.
A small person? You mean like a fun size type of person? A little person.
He just goes biking by, and I'm like pointing out things to your dad, like, look at this guy. And he's like, oh. And then I kind of look to my right, and I see 2 locals, like 2 Mexicans walking by, and they have one of those carts where they collect all the cans. And it really appeared that they had just pulled 2 puppies out of a trash can somewhere, because they were picking them up and holding them, little wrinkly, chubby puppies. Aww. And the son had one and this mom had one, and they're just like, yay, we have puppies. And they took them home. So I don't know where they got them from, but that was very rare to see.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, whoever put them there, you're an asshole. Fuck you.
Assholes, yes. Who does
But second
that?
of all, thank you to those people that found them in the trash and took them home and hopefully kept them or adopted them out.
Yes, they were beautiful looking puppies, and they looked very happy to find them. So I'm gonna assume that they're there, living there, and happy.
Yes.
But then we saw like our water guy go by, and he's like, agua, agua, yelling, garfon, garfon, whatever, biking by. So I explained to him that's our water guy, brings the jugs of water, and then we see we're just like really paying attention now because those first three things happen. So we're really watching. We see Jorge bike by, Marlos's boyfriend, bike by on his bike, and he's like, hey, we're like waving. Like, what are the odds of that? And then we saw the knife sharpener guy, and he does his little doo-doo-doo, his little whistle. I don't even know the song, but he uses this like flute, and you can hear it from like a mile away. So he's fluting by, and I'm explaining to your dad, he sharpens people's knives. You run out there with your knives and a few paces, and they'll sharpen them up for you. And then the last thing we saw, literally every delivery driver possible. Your dad was actually just asking me, how do we get deliveries here? Amazon Mexico, what do we do? It was like the Amazon driver, the Estafeta, DHL, the UPS. It was all of them were there delivering individually. So it was a nice patio day.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, you just see weird shit in Mexico. I mean,
Weird shit.
when we were at the beach, we saw a guy walking down the beach, and I thought he had some kind of cocoon around him. I mean, like I know the monarchs are migrating soon. Do you have some kind of what are those called? Cocoon?
Yeah, it was like a little cocoon bassinet.
Yeah,
baby
yeah,
bassinet thing?
well, yeah. Like, but I realized it's a little kid in a papoose. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's just walking around with it, and it's very weird. And then when I was in Isla Mujeres, I see a fucking like golden retriever wearing a Hawaiian t-shirt, like he's on vacation. I'm like, never a dull moment in Mexico.
Never a dull. Maybe it was his vacation.
Oh god, so
The kid in the papoose was really weird.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
definitely weird. All right. Well, I had one more question I wanted to bring up before we get out of here.
Oh, okay.
And so this is kind of along the lines of the storyline we were talking about with Mindy coming down here for an all-inclusive wedding, or a wedding at an all-inclusive hotel and everything like that. And how much do they have to pay? Like, are they paying a lot? Because you got to buy your room. And like, if you haven't heard this conversation before, we were talking about, everybody gets all inclusive. So all the food, drinks, and everything are free. So what is like the bride and the groom or the families actually paying to the hotel? I mean, I can understand reserving like the ceremony part, but is it that expensive?
Right. And then what are they paying for? If everybody's staying there and you're paying your $1,000 to $2,000 for the weekend or the week or whatever, you've already paid. If you and me are staying there, we paid for our food, for our drinks, for everything. What are the bride and groom paying for besides, I know the ceremony and the reception, but is it cheaper?
Yeah.
Or is it more?
I don't know. Well, and I'm not saying I think it's cheaper, because the three people that I know that have had all-inclusive weddings down here in Mexico seem like, oh, this is getting really expensive or whatever. So it must be pricey. I just don't understand what you have to pay.
I know.
Yeah. And along this lines, to any of our friends that are listening, I'm not hating whatsoever. It's just a conversation that I'd like to have. How do you decide who you invite to your wedding?
Yes.
Like how, because I have a group of friends and from Orlando, and they came to my bachelor party. They came to my wedding.
Your wedding.
Our wedding. And one of our friends is getting married, and down here in Mexico, actually this weekend. So congratulations.
Congratulations. Felicidades.
Yeah. But we were not invited.
Yes.
Which is totally fine, because I understand like we had people that we didn't invite to our wedding that like we had a cutoff. We said we're only going to have 100 people, and if we hadn't talked to you in 10 years or something like that, maybe not, unless you're like a childhood friend, whatever. But
for sure had like lists, like A squad, B squad, C squad, D squad, like people that we all love, and we would invite everyone if we could, but obviously money and space isn't an issue. So we kind of broke it down like that. And then people when they RSVP'd, no, we can't come, or no, this is going on. You move some of the B, C, and D up. You just keep moving them up.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a friend that, I mean, to be honest, like, it's not like when we go back to where they live, they're not like the first person we call. Like, if we go out in a group of people, totally. I don't talk to this person every day or whatever, but I consider us good friends if somebody had asked me, because, you know, they came to the bachelor party, the wedding, everything, and we live down here.
Yes.
So I was, like I said, not upset, but a little surprised that we weren't at least like invited or thrown a bone, be like, hey, I'm sorry, we can only have 20 people at our wedding, but do you guys want to come up and like hang out at the resort, you know, one of the days and get a day pass or something?
Right.
So do you think that you personally, do you feel obligated to invite somebody to your wedding that came to yours, or that you went to theirs?
I know there's rules, you know, we've been asking like our family and friends, like all the rules while we were going through it. I don't know. I would feel a little nervous about it, or I would explain, like, if it's our solid group of friends and then, you know, we aren't going to invite someone, I probably would have reached out to him and explained, or maybe given our friends a reasoning to tell that friend or something like that. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Because I know it's an uncomfortable thing to, like, you know, like, I'm not expecting to be like, hey, man, I can't invite you, but blah, 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 because that's, you know, it's uncomfortable or whatever. But it does make me a little sad that all of our friends are coming down here and we don't get to see any of them.
I will say, I mean, these all-inclusive or like destination weddings, they're called, it's like the same price that we paid to invite 98 people, but they're here in Mexico for like 30 people. So I feel like you really, really have to cut back.
Totally.
And a lot of families are big. Maybe, you know, maybe these people, both sides, have bigger families. They have family friends. I remember your parents being like, we're going to invite my friend Deborah from yoga or something. We're like, no. We have less than 100 people.
Yeah.
We can't invite Deborah or, you know, whoever. So I'm sure it's just a hard thing.
Oh, no, 100%. I totally understand, because, like, I know when we were inviting people, there's people that we didn't invite that I wish we would have invited now because they were really good friends of us or with us. And then there's other people that we invited that we don't really talk to anymore. And
or some people we didn't get to invite are even better friends now. Like, we had just met them around that time, and I wish they would have been there. And I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah,
I know there's like rules and things to follow.
Yeah, we haven't been to a ton of weddings, so we don't really know all of the faux pas and the things you're supposed to do and everything. So.
I have not been a bridesmaid a lot. I've only like one time.
Yeah,
or I don't even remember.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, usually there's like an era. Like, your brother and his girlfriend are going to like a ton of weddings right now, because usually like mid-20s, early 30s, I think, is when a lot of people get married. We waited a little bit longer. Yeah. But as usually when you're in that age range, a lot of your friends are getting married, so then you're going to a ton of fucking weddings, you know. So, but we really haven't been to a ton. No. And a lot of them we couldn't go to because, you know, when I was working at the radio station, it was hard to take time off and be able to travel and stuff like that.
Or my job was harder, honestly. Yeah. Like, because I was solid 9 to 5 locked down. Yeah.
But anyway, to our friend, if you are listening, we are not upset or anything. I just wish we could have seen y'all.
I know, we just miss you guys.
And I totally understand it is a very hard thing to deal with, but we wish you all the best and the happiest of marriages.
Yes, felicidades, and congratulations, happy wedding day.
Happy wedding day. All right, well, that's about it for this week. Like I said, we will be back in Playa next week and back into our regular studio. Yes. And so I'm sure we'll have some more stories about St. Patrick's Day and all that jazz.
You know something's going to go on for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, exactly. So once again, if you are enjoying the podcast, please feel free to throw us a beer here and there if you feel inclined to do so.
I like that.
buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. Again, thank you to Brian and Kim for those anniversary beers. And don't forget to follow and subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, Google Podcasts. I don't know what else. Stitcher, maybe? I don't know. Stitcher might have ended. I don't know. But
all the things.
As usual, if you like to use a certain platform that we're not on, shoot us a message at our Instagram at Hansons on Hiatus. And I'll see what I can do to get us on there. So thank you for listening. Have a great and safe rest of your weekend, especially with St. Patrick's Day. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.